Hey my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about 5 types of people that you cannot trust at all. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about people that you cannot trust when it comes to living your highest purpose in life. Now some of these people may be different depending on your relationship with them. But when it comes to living your highest purpose, some of these people might be getting in your way. So this advice applies to some people in some situations, but once I get done through this video, you'll know exactly what and who I am talking about. So listen up. The first type of person you should never trust are peers and friends. Now, like I said, you may have a peer or a friend who's looking out for you. But what I'm talking about are people who are not looking out for you. Let's say, for instance, you have an entrepreneurial mindset, but your best friend is an employee, and you start to tell them about the risk that you're about to take. Now, of course, being employee-minded, they might say, yeah, you should do it, but, and they might talk about the things that you should be cautious about. However, they might not necessarily give you the advice that you need in order to get started in the direction that you need to be. So whenever you're talking to a peer or a friend, make sure to understand that they may not be giving you advice that is suitable to your exact situation. Also, I want to make it clear that sometimes when you tell your friends exactly what you're about to do and you reveal your plans to them, they might become jealous, they might become naysayers, they might even become haters. I personally experienced this in my life. As soon as I began to tell people what I was planning to do, people told me that I couldn't do it. They told me it was a bad idea. They suggested that I should reconsider. But my friends, once I saw exactly what they were saying, I applied my technique called the opposite equivalent, which basically means that whenever you hear someone talking about something that you shouldn't do, that you know you should do, that means you should be motivated to do it even more. Many times when you move up in life, certain people may not like the direction that you're heading. Maybe you just got a new car, or you just bought a new house, or you're getting married, or you're deciding to take a long trip around the world. Certain people may not like that because they're not getting to do those activities with you. And sometimes they'll try to discourage you because they wish they could be a part of your plans, but they know that they're not. So all I'm saying is this: if you find any peers or friends being a little cynical over your plans, it's time to beware and realize that you might not be able to trust them anymore. The second type of people you should never trust are neighbors and acquaintances. Now I group them all together because generally neighbors and acquaintances don't know enough about you in order to help you make informed decisions. However, there's so many people that tell their neighbors everything that's going on in their life. And sometimes they're met with a sneer because their neighbor or their acquaintance may not understand what that person is planning to do. Your neighbors and acquaintances naturally expect for you to be around for a really long time. So if you tell them that you're about to take another step into the right direction, they too might become jealous of you. You see, a lot of times when you tell your neighbors what you want to do, they're going to say, you're moving. I don't like that. Because if you move, that means that we're not going to be friends anymore. And that means I might as well disassociate myself with you because I know you're moving on. It's the same thing with an acquaintance. Whenever you move from job to job or school to school or whatever opportunity you may be presented with, you have to understand that acquaintance will know that you are leaving too. And when they know that you're leaving, they might do everything they can in their power to stop you. Now obviously, I'm not saying that this is true in every situation. Of course there's going to be neighbors and acquaintances that are happy for you. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be jumping for joys. I'm only talking about the select few who slither around the rocks, who act like the snakes that you need to crush. All I'm saying is this: if certain people don't have enough information about you, then you cannot tell them your expedited plan to achieving the success that you actually want. The third type of people you cannot trust in certain situations are parents and family members. Now, why do I say this? I'm basically saying this because many times your family members, and especially your parents, tend to be overprotective. Now, this might not apply in every situation, but if it applies to you, then you know exactly what to do. I know that the majority of people who are watching this video have been held back by their family members at one point of their life or another. And what I'm basically saying is that if you feel like your parents or your family members are holding you back, then it's now time to take a different route. Now, I understand that you cannot completely avoid these people. After all, they are in your bloodline. And if you find it difficult to remove yourself from them, all you need to understand is that you don't have to tell them as much as you used to. What I want you to do is to reveal less and less as time goes on. Because if you tell your parents or certain family members what you're about to do, they know you're going to take off. They know that they may be left stranded. They know that you're about to do something that is bigger than their plan in your life. Ultimately, when a family member is highly protective of you, that typically means that they have an expectation for your life. They think to themselves that you're going to do A, B, and C. But if you tell them that you're going to do X, Y, and Z, that might make them upset. That might turn them off. That might make them offended. They might feel like you're rebelling against them and that you're going into the wrong direction. But what you need to do is either tell them less of your plans, don't tell them at all, or make sure to affirm them so that they feel comforted that you know exactly what you're doing. Another scenario is that a family member might tell you not to do something because it hasn't worked out in their life. For instance, I've known many people who've been told by their family members not to invest or to start a business because 98% of businesses fail within the first 3 years. So just because they heard a specific statistic, or maybe they went through a certain experience, doesn't mean that they necessarily know what they're talking about. Make sure when you hear these people talk to apply the opposite equivalent to their advice. When they tell you why you shouldn't do it and begin to enumerate all the reasons why it won't work out, start to do your own diligence and your research so that you understand why you should do it. Once you educate yourself on all the consequences, you'll know exactly what to do, where to go, and who to talk to when it comes to your success. The fourth type of person you should never trust when it comes to living your dreams are teachers and preachers. Now, when I'm saying this, I don't want you to think that all teachers and preachers are going to give you the wrong advice. There are millions of teachers and preachers that will give you excellent advice. But I personally had a teacher who gave me the worst advice I can ever remember. They told me that I should go to school, graduate, get my master's degree, and eventually a PhD. Because they knew that I wanted to use my speaking abilities in a larger capacity, they thought that this structured plan was the best way for me to go about it. However, I realized that this wasn't the best plan in my life, and I had to ignore their instructions. I also had a preacher who told me that I should do certain things in a certain way, and he became increasingly upset when he found out that I didn't. Now, I can tell you that that preacher isn't doing well right now, and he was highly upset for many years that I went my own separate way. But what I want you to know is sometimes we have certain people in our life that look like they know what they're talking about, but don't really know the advice that they're giving at all. So when you listen to these teachers and these preachers, ask yourself, what are their actual experiences? Are they actually teaching me based on theory, or are they actually teaching me based on what they know? You see, my friends, so many teachers and preachers spend so many hours reading books and studying theories that they themselves might be disassociated with how the real world actually functions. So the next time you take advice from a teacher or a preacher, ask yourself, does the advice that they're giving me match up to God's plan in my life? If it does, then that's great. And if it's not, then don't trust them at all. The fifth and final type of person you should never trust is a spouse or partner if you know that they're getting in your way. Now, obviously, if you've been studying me for a while, you know that I am infatuated with my wife. And she's actually my business partner, and she's listening to me right now. But I also want you to know that there's certain people who have relationships that are completely detrimental to who they're becoming. And if you find yourself with a partner or a spouse that's disassociated with what you're trying to do, then you have to do a better job with communicating your highest desires in life. Just because you sleep in the same house and you sleep in the same bed doesn't mean that you're completely connected with your spouse. There's a lot of communication that needs to happen before you break through and reach your highest goals. I've talked to so many different people who range on both sides of the spectrum. There's some people who are completely disassociated with their spouse, and there's people who are completely in love and work together with their spouse every single day. You have to ask yourself, how is my spouse actually helping me? Are they allowing me to become the greatest version of myself, or are they holding me back? If you find that they're holding you back, and you also discover that it's really difficult to communicate what you're trying to accomplish, then you need to write them a long letter so that you can explain to them what it is that you are actually trying to do in this world. There's been so many people who have healed their relationships just because they wrote that one special letter to their wife or to their husbands. And my friends, I can tell you, even if you have a great relationship with your spouse, you still should write those letters. You still should communicate on paper. You should still have those conversations so that you too can be connected on a higher level. So there you go, my friends. I just shared with you 5 types of people you should never trust. And like I said, never trust these people if you know they're leading you in the wrong direction. Remember, there's a lot of people in this world, and sometimes the people with the wrong intentions can lead you into the wrong direction. But if you understand exactly who you're dealing with, and you realize how they're impacting your mindset and your actions, then you're going to know exactly what to do and how you can get to the next level of your life. My friends, this is Daniel Alley, and if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification button so I can keep on making more inspiring videos just like this one. If you really enjoyed this video and you understand it, type yes in the comment section below. I look forward to watching you become the person that you really want to be and helping you accomplish your highest goals in life. Again, this is Daniel Alley. Make sure to connect with me on social media so I can keep on sharing inspiring messages just like this. Remember to always listen to yourself and listen to your heart, because if you want the gold, you have to understand what's going on within your soul. Alright, my friends, take care of yourself and always do your best. I'll see you on the next video.